Labor is introducing more taxes. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, Labor is going to do what Labor's going to do here in Queensland. They are going to introduce even more taxes or hoover up more money from companies here in Queensland. Isn't that fantastic? That's just what we need on the brink of a recession. Businesses shutting down left, right and centre. Builders collapsing every other bloody day. More taxes. More taxes. And what tax is it? Oh, it's the stupidest tax in the world. The one I do not understand how anyone can justify. Payroll tax. Everyone? Let's have a look here. This is from payrolltax.gov.au. They've got a website about it. So payroll tax is a self-assessed general-purpose state and territory tax assessed on wages paid or payable by an employer to its employees when the total wage bill of an employer or group of employers exceeds a threshold amount. So the payroll tax rates and thresholds vary between states. Let's see if we see it. Let's have a look. Where's Queensland? Okay. From 1st of July 2019, so it's obviously going to change, 1.3 million bucks a year, or 108,000 monthly, or 25,000 weekly. What's the rate? 4.75%, everyone. This is just utterly nuts. You're punishing businesses that create jobs and opportunities for Queenslanders in your state. What about New South Wales? Oh, there you go. Look at that. Oh, boy. Victoria? Oh, Victoria. Look at Victoria. It's the worst. $650,000. And then you're hit with this tax. These are jobs. Northern Territory, 1.5. But look at the rate. 5.5. South Australia, 1.5. Variable rate. Western Australia, 1 million annually. Only $1 million bucks. Oh, look how complicated this shit is. We need to simplify our tax system. This is a complete joke. What about Tasmania? There you go. All the states, they want this. They want to gobble up your money, take your money from you. Because this is money that could be invested in businesses, that could be paid to employees, that could be distributed to shareholders. It doesn't need to go to the government, everyone. There's plenty other ways we could reap benefits from this money. But no, the government wants to hoover it up, wants to take it. And they're just making it take it even more. This is just insane. Because it'll disincentivize businesses from paying this tax. They'll look at opportunities to get around it. Anyway, the Queensland government will impose a new levy, a new tax. We'll cross that out. A new tax, mate. It's called a tax. A new tax. There we go. On big business. Well, if you got a 1.3 million wage bill a year, yeah, I mean there are some businesses that'll do that wouldn't be considered huge, to generate an ongoing funding source for mental health services in the state, expected to deliver an annual windfall of $425 million within 3 years. Big retailers such as Woolworths and Coles, mining companies and major construction firms, yeah, that's what construction firms need right now. When they're going bust. ProBuild was a major construction firm. Went under. You're not going to... This is going to encourage these businesses to go to contractors. I guess there'll probably be no way to get around this bullshit. You know, this is our innovation, guys. This is Australia, the innovation nation. This is Labor. This is what you vote for. Okay? How much mental health damage do you think it'll cause? It's probably a self-fulfilling bloody cycle. Well, up the taxes causes more damage to the community, so then you've got to provide more health care. And they probably do a terrible job at it anyway. So they're expected to contribute most from their bottom lines to fund a 5-year $1.6 billion mental health spend. The staged rollout of yet-to-be-detailed mental health services beds, including for perinatal and eating disorders, 1,400 new staff, and capital investments through the program will form part of the state's broader health budget worth $23.6 billion in the coming financial year. Well, here's an idea. we've just got this new facility that we built to house people for COVID or for when they were coming into the state. And that's not being used. How about we use that facility as beds for eating disorders? We're not talking high-end medical facilities here. You should be able to easily modify those rooms to meet the requirements for this. It wouldn't be that hard. A recent parliamentary committee inquiry into mental health had urged the government to increase funding and expenditure for mental health and drug and alcohol services and create a dedicated funding stream after finding the state reported the lowest national per capita spending in 2019-2020. Well, who cares? What is that? What's important, comparing us on a per capita basis, or what about the outcome of our infrastructure? The budget paper includes a new 5-year plan for the sector with $1.64 billion in operating funding slated for new mental health service beds, including, we already read that, an extra 28.5 capital investment. But in order to deliver this funding, we must have a sustainable funding model, Treasurer Cameron Dick told Parliament in his budget speech. This will come alongside a huge revenue windfall this year and a further planned lift to coal royalties as prices and profits soar. Oh, so they're... Wait a minute. So they're denigrating coal. They don't like coal. They want us... Albanese wants us to become a renewable superpower and get out of coal. And yet they're using coal to fund their vote-winning bloody schemes. Because it's going to be... Anyone being critical of this, I'm just waiting for the comments to roll up. Oh, we need to address mental health. We need to help these people, blah, 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 crappity crap. We should just adopt stoicism, honestly. Just stoicism. Just adopt that. Deal with your own shit. But aside from that, I'm just frustrated. Frustrated as it's just the same crap again and again and again. To do this, the government will introduce a new payroll tax. For some businesses from 2023, will pay 0.25% on the proportion an annual taxable wage bill of more than $10 million, and an additional 0.5% on the proportion of those wage bills more than $100 million. So there you go. So the little businesses that are only earning 1.3, they get away from it, but once you get up to 10 million wage bill, boom. Treasury estimates the levy would apply to about 1% of all businesses in the state, scaling up to generate an annual $425 million by 25-26. While Woolworths and Coles have recently reported rising sales figures, these have been partly offset by the tandem cost of inflation. I do not think, well, you know what it is. What about Woolworths and Coles automating more and more? I do not think one single person will be critical of larger companies using 1% of their budgets to actually help people who are going through the worst of the worst from a pandemic. Yeah, well, I'm right here doing it. Who caused the worst of the worst from the pandemic? Who did it? Who was the person that locked everyone up, that restricted their freedoms, that implemented legislation to stop people being able to work? Who did that? Who? I wonder. Who had the authority to overrule the health people? Dick said legislation will ensure the amount raised is ring-fenced for mental health purposes and reported with any underspend to be carried over until it can be used in the sector. Oh shit, they're going to milk this like nothing. Budget papers state this could also include associated services and investment, such as dedicated housing. What about the huge amount of debt Queensland is in? What about that? Maybe we should address that? Or the big, all this money we're pissing away on Olympic Games? What about that? The committee heard Queensland Health spent an estimated $1.48 billion on mental health, alcohol and drug services across the 2021 financial year. Postage was asked why, given then mental health committee report also suggested increased housing targets due to the effect on people's mental health. The current strategy still would only build a portion of the properties needed to address the state's social housing wait list. So, are you going to have dedicated housing to people with mental health issues? Don't we have didn't we have facilities for that? What's happened to that? Postage said present conditions made it hard to build homes even if the money was there. The budget papers state an upcoming operating budget for health and ambulance services would represent a 5.6% increase from 21 to 22. Since 2015, the budget has grown about 55%. Admissions to public hospitals have grown by 40%. Look at that, in just 7 years. The new budget will roll funds from a $2 billion hospital fund announced last year into its Better Health in Hospitals plan for capacity expansion slated to deliver 2,500 additional beds into the planning pipeline. These will come from expansions to several hospitals, most already announced, and new hospitals previously flagged in Toowoomba, Bundaberg, and Coomera. The government has already announced a new $750 million cancer centre for Brisbane. So there you go, guys. An increase to taxes. Let's have a talk about this. Any criticism of this is just going to be attacked as being cruel. That's what it is. It's just going to be emotionally driven. You won't be able to criticize it. I'd like to see our opposition be critical of this. We need an upper house here in Queensland. But there you go. It's just taxes. Just on more of the big businesses. So the big businesses will push for more legislation to destroy small businesses, to destroy competition, so they can keep their monopoly. We're all going to pay for this. Okay? Do you think they're going to just absorb it? No. It will work its way into all the goods you're purchasing from Woolworths and Coles and any other business. That's what happens. We pay for it in the end. That's Queensland. People vote for this shit. No one seems to care about the debt that we have. No one cares. They don't care. No one's worried about it. It's just going to be more of the same old, same old. And any criticism of it is just going to be attacked on a personal, emotional basis. That's what politics is like in Australia. I really don't think, honestly, the whole push for libertarian ideals and individual responsibility, I think it's a minority here in Australia, guys. I really do. What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts on this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you need some help, give us a call. If you need an architect, give us a call. If you want to support us financially, you can via joining YouTube or Patreon, or using our referral links, or even just buying our pocket squares. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And, well, there you go. Another bloody tax increase. It's always going to be one, and we will always pay for it. Don't listen to the people who say, it's just big business paying. Because they'll charge us. They will charge us every bloody time.